and welcome to another episode of Let's Keep It Real, Meet the Authors. I'm your host, Alvina, and today we're featuring Natasha Richards. Say hello.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? It's
I'm
so
sure
good to be here.
everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
Yes. So I'm so glad to be here on our book that we wrote together and to finally meet you. I know it's still Zoom, but one day the borders will open and I will be able to get to meet you in person. But this has just been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad to be here to share that with you.
And I'm so glad that you accepted. Thank you so much for your generosity and your time. And I'm so happy to have met you as well. I read a lot about you online and I've attended to some of your forums. So I know you're a bubbly personality and I want our viewers to know more about you as well. So just before we get into who Natasha is and all that she does, I just want to make sure you understand that this show is called Let's Keep It Real. And it's about meeting the authors in the book, I Pray on Purpose Because. And each of these authors has a connection with prayer. And our topic is all about making prayer relevant in people's lives, empowering people in the power of prayer, inspiring them to do more and to trust in prayer, and also to create a living legacy. So REIL is spelled REIL.
Mm, I
So,
love that.
so Natasha, as we just said about prayer being relevant, I would like you to tell our viewers exactly how prayer is relevant in your life.
It's the necessary connection that I need. It's the first thing you get up in the morning. It's hearing that voice. It's getting that direction for where you have to go today and the instructions, who, how, where, what, and why. It's not, only that thing where I'm not using God as an ATM machine. I'm using him as my power source. I'm using him as that not just a refuge or a safety, but even preventative areas of connection. That prayer, it's an underestimated power and an underestimated communication equipment. I can't even say tool that is necessary for me to go through everyday function in everyday life. It's like that forever friend, that forever leader, that forever mentor, that forever parent who is constantly guiding you. But you gotta, build on that relationship, and prayer does that for me.
I love that you said it was a necessary tool and it was something that you had to do every day. And as I look at you, you look so young. And so, were you always into prayer? Were you, you know, was this an everything all the time it was necessary for you? It was part of your equipment?
So my journey is one that sounds similar but different. I was raised in Christian home. I was raised by a single mother who was surrounded by, aunts and cousins who helped her in that process of raising me. And everybody was Christian of some sort, non-denominational, Adventist, Pentecostal, Baptist, the list goes on. I was surrounded. But even being surrounded, you know that old saying, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink it. I was in that state for a very long time. I was doing the practices, I was going. And as a little girl, I loved music. So that's what would draw me to church. And I loved this. So that's what would draw me to church. But the relationship and the real understanding of prayer, it didn't come after many bad life choices, many interesting episodes that happened to me, not of my choosing, but coming to that place where the only thing that I could do was choose God, because the alternative was not appetizing, it wasn't pleasing, it wasn't anything. It was just another hard choice. So why not? I tried it my way. I tried to do things my way and it didn't work. So I chose him. And that's when prayer became important. After having two children, after becoming, I was in my 30s, I think, when, it was really that point where it's just me and you, God, okay, let's do this. So it became more important. And then after seeing the changes that was happening in myself, like it seemed like I was in the same situation, but the situation just seemed different. But it wasn't because God changed that person or he even changed the situation. It was me that started changing because my connection to him got stronger. The tools that I needed, the fruits of the spirit, whatever I needed, I started gaining. I started putting away old mindsets, bad habits because of that connection in prayer. And I was able to navigate through what seemed like some impossible task because I started changing. So that's when prayer became important.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I can understand there was like a shift when you were at this point that you made the commitment to have a life that involved prayer. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, as our custom, we always know that names mean something. And we take the letters of our name and we put some power words to them. And we get to find out a little bit about who you are as well, what kind of things that you think about yourself or people have told you using these power words. So you have the floor, Natasha. What is the power words associated with your name?
So I saw this and I was like, what letters am I going to come up? What words am I going to come up with? So the first one, N, notorious. I have made a history of doing things well, event planning, books, but I'm notorious for getting through. What may seem like Natasha's always in this situation, Natasha's always in this, but I'm notorious for finding a way. We will get through this. And the latter part of my living it's been God that has gotten me through it. It's not because I depended on self or I figured out that thing. It's like, okay, we're getting through it. So I've been notorious for knowing I'm gonna make it through. My first A would probably anointed. I'm in probably one of the most interesting stages in my life where I'm a woman who is a pastor in the church. And the church may or may not like me, but here's the thing. God knew who I was going to become before I came out of my mother's womb. And there was a point in my life where he laid his hands on me, I truly believe. And he said, this is what you're destined to do. I need you to stop running from it. And I need you to walk into it. No matter what they say or what happens, I need you to move forward and just focus on me. So I believe there was a point where God anointed me himself. And I'm moving forward into everything. And the fruits of it is just coming out. T for tenacious. I'm gonna push through. Scared, afraid, no matter what, I'm going to push through. That is the word for the T. Another A, able, because God is able. I couldn't be, I couldn't think, I couldn't be able to prosper if it wasn't for his sacrifice and him allowing me to be able. S. That was the one that got me. You would think it would be the N, but that was the one that got me. I battled with this, but I would say spiritual. I have come into my life where that word used to bother me because of being so overly exposed to anywhere from cults to various religions. Spiritual didn't mean what it means to me now. But spiritual because my footing and my foundation is in God. My covering comes from the Holy Spirit. So because of that, I am spiritual. H, happy. Because a lot of the places I go to, I'm probably loud, excited. I have this first soprano voice when I get ready, and that's just me. I'm happy because I choose to be. I'm happy because I choose to fight through the negativity and fight through the moments, but I'm happy because I chose God as my center. So I choose to be happy. So that is where I get that H from. My last A would be amazing. It's something I couldn't say about myself many years ago. It's something that I couldn't even say in the mirror. The I am statements that you think that you are. But I say that I'm amazing, not overly confidence or being conceited, but because I am, because I'm finally beginning to see myself the way God sees me.
Wow. Well, I know you're a happy person. I definitely do. And I think what you said was amazing. Don't ask me the rest. I can't remember. That's
It's
my old brain. But I love what you said, though, in terms of, even the way you explained it and how you're growing into yourself and how you were anointed. You mentioned something because God predestined a lot of us to do something. And when you read that text in the Bible, you know, it's just amazing, even to know that you're from royalty, you're from a royal priesthood. So I know you're a pastor, you know what text I'm talking about.
yes, come on.
But these are some promises. Yeah, exactly. It's some promises that you have to keep in yourself. And like you said, it's not about ego or being conceited, but you do see the shift and what you've been through and where you're going. And it has been truly amazing just to hear just a snippet of your story is amazing. I don't know if you want to share a little bit more about who you are and what you do. You mentioned you were a pastor, you mentioned you're a mom. Is there anything else that you think is important?
I'm a single mom of 2 adult children, by the way, and I'm very proud of my beautiful daughters. They're in their 20s. I am an entrepreneur. I have my own company called Natsel Management, which has products. I do event management and planning, and speaker empowerment. I guess that's the right word to say. I also have Zamar, which is a church leadership training program for church leaders and church transformation for churches who are looking to overhaul as far as leadership and move in a different direction. I have Empowered Me, which is my life coaching product, which allows people to come at their own pace and say, here is my issue I've been battling. How can I move forward and have my life be better? So those are the products that I have. I am currently a student at Andrews University seeking my MDiv and my MBA, so that when I leave here, I am a well-rounded pastor and able to conquer it, whatever it is, or my assignment is. And I sing. But that's the thing, Pastor Black, we have him in common, Pastor James Black. And it was, Pastor Black has known me for years. And I think 10 years later is the first time he found out I could sing. I was in Canada, as a matter of fact.
Wow, wow.
And 2014, we were in Canada at Mohawk College for campus ministries. And I sang for the first time in public in front of him. And he was like, wait, what, you could sing? Girl, you know how to keep a secret. I was like, yeah. But it's not intentional. It's something, you do, God's given you gifts. Right. And you want to do things, and it's for me. I love it, but I understand. I don't say no. If somebody asks, I say yes. I'm just not voluntary about it because there's so many talented people and worshipers and worship leaders. But yeah, I love to worship. So those are things about me.
I can see as you're delivering your sermon, maybe you could introduce it by singing, I think I can see that coming from you in the future.
One day.
Okay. So I would love it if you would read your piece for those of you at home, again, from the book, I Pray on Purpose Because. On page 133, her prayer is, I pray on purpose because prayer opens doors. Natasha?
Do you know what it means to pray? Let me rephrase that. Do you know what it means to pray on purpose? May I share a story with you? Several years ago, I finished nursing school, which I thought was the most difficult academic time ever. I struggled a lot in nursing school, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, etc. I often prayed to God with the sentiment that this was the last time I was going to school. After starting the career of nursing, I found myself wanting more. I found myself feeling that as much as nursing was an amazing career, I did not want to be in nursing. But at that time, I had to learn how to provide for my children as a single parent. So I started seeking answers. I started by first getting a life coach, and she gave me amazing advice and directed me to God Himself. So I started praying, but that was not just your ordinary prayer. Mm-mm. This was praying on purpose. This was seeking a purpose and praying with intent. Seeing prayer on purpose means that you are focused on something and dedicated to seeking God for it. For me, praying on purpose was asking God for what seemed impossible at that time. I longed for ministry. I just didn't know what he wanted me to do, how to focus on it, and how to take care of my children at the same time. So I started praying. If you open the door, I will walk through it. But praying a prayer like that, you have to be obedient. You have to be mindful of what you say it, how you take care of your family, how you love, how you act, how you think, how you walk, and how you live. Praying a prayer like that means that you are believing God will do what man may seem as impossible, but what you believe in faith can be accomplished. However, you also have to act like what you're praying about. Praying on purpose means going into fasting, going into consecration, going into that place where it is just God and you, not necessarily an environment, but just in your mind sometimes. It means diving deeper into worship. It means diving deeper, period. It is not just a prayer. Now it becomes a mindset. I want you. I want ministry. I need you to open the door. Shortly after, God started opening doors left and right, little by little. My gifts made room for me everywhere I went. It made room and it kept on making room. The mentoring then came from men and women who are dedicated and passionate about God, about sharing the love of God to other people. My prayers did not stop. God showed me what you want me to do in my ministry. I prayed again. Even in praying this, I was afraid, I was scared, I was terrified. But I kept on praying on purpose that God will do this. God, you will change me. God, you will change my children and you will bless my family. Praying on purpose is praying with intent. It is praying with all of your heart, your mind, your soul, believing and knowing without any evidence that He will do and can do through you the impossible. Praying on purpose meant that God was going to break down every academic issue in my mind, that God was going to heal and restore my heart, that God was going to bring my kids to Him. And then God was going to put me in ministry where I can continue blessing young people, young adults, and where I can continue to grow. I have not stopped praying that prayer, and He has not stopped elevating me either. Praying on purpose right now looks like me becoming attending Andrews University for my Master's of Divinity and loving every moment, good, bad, and indifferent. Praying on purpose is a faith that we can only read about in the Bible. Correction. It is a faith that I am living right now and you can too. It is time to start praying on purpose.
I love this piece. It was like defining everything that we wanted to define in this book, and saying that it's intentional, and even the way that you ended, not making it about something that you want to have, but something that you can have. So I really appreciated when I got this. I was so happy because it captured the essence of what we wanted people to know. So what inspired you to write it? I know it's based on your life and what you were going through, but is there anything else that inspired you to write this?
There's something that you need to know. I was not in the original group of women.
No.
And this is important. This is a very good thing. This is not a bad thing. I was not in the original. As we talk about Maxine Black and Pastor James Black, as we talk about this, Maxine Black contacted me by email and said, "Hey, da, 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 da." And I was like, "Huh? You mean right now?" "Yeah, I need it by tomorrow." I was like, "Huh? Okay." So immediately I prayed. You got to understand, my Pastor Black and his wife are my mentors.
Okay.
And have been. So, like a parent, they call, you answer. It's just, there's no questions. Yes, okay, that's it. And I believe in the prayer life of them, and I've watched them. So that needs to be some understanding there.
Yeah.
I wrote it I just started praying and I said, okay, I don't know who this is going to impact, but I know one thing needs to be real: transparency. I'm a single mom, but I don't need to focus on that. I need to focus on what took me through being a single mom. Because everybody's story in here is powerful and amazing, but it's all different.
Yes.
And I wanted to say, I don't know who the lady is. And at that time, you were a name on a paper. So whoever Alvina Ryan is, she has the Black's attention. So God, in the name of Jesus, show me what you want me to write. And I just finished mentoring a young lady talking about some things like this, being on purpose, not necessarily just praying, but just being a woman of purpose. So I sat there and I wrote it and I sent it in. I was like, I hope this is what you wanted. I never heard back again. So I was like, maybe it was really bad. Maybe it wasn't anything. But a week or two later, I think Sister Black sent it and she was like, girl, this is good. Okay, thanks. All right, talk to you later. We'll follow up all the great things. And then, here we go through the process and I'm in the book. I was like, wait, I made the book? Okay, all right. So it's exciting. Listen, this is whenever you get a chance to tell your story, being a part of this confirmation, you have no idea. The fact that you said empowered women is something that God has been pushing me towards in the demographic that I serve a lot, is women. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, Lord, I'm gonna say yes, because I've been one of those people. You want me to do what? So yeah, wait, hold up a minute, God. I got a question. I just got one. You do realize like women are like onions. You peel off one layer, there's another layer, there's another layer, and you kind of never really get to the core. Are you sure you want me to be a part of this? And it's like, he keeps on answering me. Yes, I do. Here's a book, right? Here's a community. Be a part of it. Here's it. So you were a part of a blessing. You are a part of my stretching. So it was great. And then to see the after and read the stories of several of the women I actually know in this book. One of them actually goes to school with me here, which is Pastor LaToya Wright. So it was just an amazing experience. Whatever we do, whenever we get a chance, we need to share our story. Now, for you, it may be embarrassing, and God is going to have to help you with those areas, but share your story. Somebody else is going through it and doesn't really know how to navigate. And you may be that one that plants those seeds for them to start seeing God in the way that they need to. So share your story. So that's my story on writing.
You heard Pastor Natasha. You need to like and share this story because someone else might need to hear what we're saying. And, everything that we're doing is really to edify the people, making sure that they understand what the power of prayer is about and making sure that they understand, people's stories, where they were, where they've come to, and how they got there through prayer. So this is very important. So, Pastor, we have one other question for you. And you kind of hinted on it, but I really would like you to elaborate. So, how would you create a legacy for yourself? Or you kind of hinted on the other part, which is how to create a living legacy.
When I read that, automatically out of my mind, I started thinking of the movie Hidden Figures. But I've taken that in my mindset to now think about the hidden figures of the female pastors in our Adventist church. Brenda Billinger, Beth Williams, the list goes on. There's so many, and I learned so many about other women who have who have opened the door for us in their own ways as pastors. So leaving a legacy for me would be probably about the conversation I had with all of these women at one point would be simple: to do what I do and do it out of love. So everything that I do is to empower somebody for something. And I do it out of love because that's what God did for me. He loved me enough to empower me to get, hey, I need you to go over there and talk to this one. Hey, I need you to go on this college campus. Hey, I need you to do that. Whatever I do to make sure that everyone that has even 2 seconds in front of me, that they get a glimpse of God through the power of love, because of my love for him, because of my intimacy in prayer with him. I am here to empower you. How can I help you today? Is my legacy that I want to leave.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, that is another episode of Let's Keep It Real, Meet the Authors. Natasha, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, for being authentically you. I wish you well in all of your endeavors. Do you want to let people know how they can reach you?
So the easiest way to reach me is at empoweredme.net. So it's M for masterfully powered, empowered, ED, me.net is how you can reach me. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram under that. You will find me by my name, and it's really simple. That's where you can find me.
And you can find all of our authors on Alvina Ryan Readers Community. So again, that's another episode of Let's Keep It Real, Meet the Authors. I'm Alvina Ryan, and that was Natasha Richards.
Thank you so much.
Time for the real.